city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event, it's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds, a movement of momentum. Seafood on fire, Lancelot, Jose Escobar. Together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC Experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC Experience Mastermind, where purpose is found.
Good morning, Lancelot. How are you, my friend?
Oh my God, just an excellent 1% better than I was the day before, and I'm looking forward to getting better today, man. This is a great day.
Love it, love it. What'd you think of our commercial this morning?
Oh, I've just watched it with you for the first time, and just you never cease to amaze me with your creativity from one artist to another. I have just a tremendous amount of respect for your creativity, and you spit it out like a producer. You know what I mean? You might as well be with some of our top producers, because you just keep putting out stuff day in, day out, week in, week out. You know, so kudos to you. I loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, man. You know, when I'm inspired by someone like yourself and everybody that I come across, right? Because we all have great ideas, but sometimes it's the spark from someone else that goes, "Ooh, let me grab that. Let me think about how we can do this," right?
Absolutely.
So that's the creative part of me.
Mm.
But I got to tell you, New York City Experience started with you and me breaking bread.
Yes.
I mentioned it to you and I said, listen, I've had this thing in my head for many years now.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I want to do. And you said, let's do it.
I'm in.
So think about that. Where we started sitting, having some food, and where we've gone with it. We've had 3 amazing events.
Yes.
But now we're going global, and we're going to Tampa. And guess what? Our incredible speaker, sponsor is joining us all the way from Tampa right now. And we don't want to know the weather there now because we're both in New York and it's freezing.
It's freezing.
But hey, you know what? We're going to bring some heat. And so let's bring Paul
Well,
out.
before you do that, I just want to say that.
Go ahead.
Oh, he's here. Okay.
Say it anyway.
I'm here. Surprise.
What's going on, Paul? I want
What's
to
happening?
piggyback on what you were saying when we had that first meeting. And I think it's important to note that it's about saying yes and surrounding yourself with people, like-minded people. Now, I had no idea who you were. We met at an event and we went out and we broke bread. And through breaking bread, I could feel the synergy. But like we try to explain to people, get in those rooms. Take the opportunity to say yes to certain things. You can't be fearful. Sometimes you just gotta get out there and take the plunge, you know. And that's what we did. And look, three different events later, we're now going global in 2026. Started with Tampa, which is not global, but we're going to be in Ireland. But the point I'm making is that for those out there that are on the fence about participating, if you want to elevate yourself in 2026, the most important thing is get around other people, like-minded people like yourself. And the only way to do that is to get into rooms like this. The next room is in Tampa. We're going to be in Tampa, Florida with my man, Paul, and we're going to have just an extraordinary time. And I invite those that are on the fence to get off that fence and join us.
And Angeline says hello, and we're going to be meeting Angeline in Florida too, because I believe she's going to be joining us.
Absolutely. Good morning, Angeline.
So Paul, talk to us about where we're going to be, because you know the area. We have some great experiences that they're going to be coming up. We're going to have a meeting after the meeting after the meeting, but we're going to do even things before we even get started. So talk to us a little bit about what we can expect in Tampa, because the Tampa vibe is going to be even heightened when we bring the New York City experience vibe. So when we combine those two together, I think we're going to blow up.
Well, we're going to set it on fire. That's what's going to happen.
That's why the theme is called Ignite.
Ignite. That's right. I love it. So yeah, Tampa, Florida. So south of south on the East Coast, right? And some people will say a little Caribbean flair, if you will. But Tampa, Florida, is really growing and becoming an area that I would say rivals Miami, right? And I think the people here in Tampa would say they're trying to overtake Miami, or at least be the Miami of the West Coast of Florida. But we got the area that is booming business wise and energy wise. They're doing a lot of revitalization in many areas, but there's a lot of new spaces like what's it called, International Park, which is an amazing I'll say mall concept area that they kind of opened maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe a bit longer than that, but you got a lot of anchors coming in and just kind of really setting up the area and setting up the foundation. When I look at some of the city plans, I mean, this is an amazing area. It is right for the picking. And you have the right base of people here. It's an amazing area. So we're going to be, the other thing that's amazing about Tampa is that everything seems to be about 20 to 25 minutes away from the airport. I mean, in 25 minutes you could be in St. Pete's. In 25 minutes you can be in Clearwater. In 10, 15 minutes you can be downtown Tampa. And then so on and so forth. So there is so much to do culturally, at Ybor City, where, the art district, has so much to do in Ybor City. And I've only been here since June. So it's been one of those, you have to explore it all and take it in, and the places that you experience. I mean, I've been to some amazing dining experiences that I would say would rival the DC where I'm from, or even New York. So some things to just to kind of you got to get down here to experience it though. I mean, that's the only thing, right? And it's not as crazy as everybody might think it is. So there you go.
Yeah. So let me lay out when you talked about Lancelot, when you talked about going global, let me share what that means, right? So we're doing Tampa, Florida, February 27th through March 1st. But we don't stop there, right? This is our itinerary for 2026. Then we go to Ireland in April. Then we're going to Chicago in May. Then we're back in New York City in July. And then we're doing Atlanta in September. And then we're back in New York City in December. Just doing a couple of things here and there.
That's a damn tour. You might as well call that the New York City Mastermind Tour. Yeah, we are touring now. That's it. We're global. Yes.
That's it. And any groupies who want to come, my groupies either.
Yeah.
So when we think about the global experience for anybody, because
big shout out to Dave Hurley, by the way, from Ireland.
Yes, because now it's going to be an international event, right? So speakers, if you're interested in speaking internationally, join us in Ireland, right? If you're looking to get on more stages, become well known, you have to get into the room where we actually not only promote you, but we are going to give you all the media coverage that you need also. And that's one of the things that we're bringing that maybe a lot of places don't, but we're going to be highlighting you before the event, during the event, and after the event. And then you're going to be living on our website as well. So it's kind of cool. So here's the thing I'm going to talk to you, Paul, about.
Yes.
We initially said, we're going to go to Florida, Miami. That's it. Yeah, Miami. And the more I thought about it, I'm like, wait a minute. Miami's all hype. Florida's big, right? And I know that some people go, oh, you're in Florida. I'm going to be in this place. I'll see you. You'll be there. They're like, that's 4 hours away, kid. I'm like, wait a minute. Oh, really? So we realize, right? I have family who lives in Miami. I have family who lives in all different parts of Florida. And even when I said to my sister, hey, I'm coming to Tampa, she goes, oh, that's a couple of hours away. I'm like, oh, really? I thought she was going to come by and like say hi. But so one of the things that we considered is that we considered Miami. But then the other thing is I said, so much hype. I want to go to a city that's really becoming something incredible. Not as different from Miami necessarily, but something it's got a different flavor, but it still brings the heat. Because if anybody knows me, I like food and I like spicy food. So
That's right. That's right.
And so that's why we chose Tampa. And then not only that, we chose Tampa, but our brother lives there. Paul McFadden lives there, right? You and me, we're brothers for life, man. So just happy that we're coming to your town and that you're going to be boots on the ground for us. You're also a sponsor. You're a speaker. Tell us why that's important for you as a global leader yourself.
Well, as I alluded to earlier, was that Tampa has been a more recent relocation, and so the physical change, while there are some obviously advantages to shifting your environment, right? And you get more focus, you get more clarity, you get a fresh perspective on many things, and that can certainly shift an individual, shift the business and shift the way they show up, right? But I think the other part of that too is, saying that I left DC, there's a network of folks, family, right, that is there in the DC area that's no longer here. Now I am blessed to have my sister down here, right? I have a sister down here. I have a few friends that have moved in this area, but when I think about the work that I do, right? So I'm working. Yeah, I'm working in the human, some of the alignment space, right? And so I'm looking, bringing together folks so that they can kind of, identify where misalignment occurs, not only in their leadership, but potentially in their organizations as well. And I bring and that sits at the intersection of neuroscience and leadership performance and human evolution. Now, in order to do what I do well, I got to be meeting people and kind of seeing what's going on in the area. And so it's the whole networking thing, becomes extremely important. And of course, the way we network today is a lot different than we used to network in the not so long ago past, right? So it is an opportunity to kind of tap the network that I've started building, and bringing them together with individuals that are, I won't say becoming, but are making things happen, right? I mean, certainly we're all becoming different and changing constantly. And that's part of the growth process. But it's people want to be surrounded by like-minded individuals that are looking future focused, and so this is the opportunity, right? This area is growing so quickly, and there are individuals that are down here that are looking for their craving that. And so, I'm building community down here. I'm going to set up. I joke around saying I'm going to set up a stronghold down here, if you will, of folks, like-minded folks. It's amazing all the way around. So it becomes a win-win-win for everybody that's involved in this experience. So I'm really excited about it as well.
I tell you, Paul, I met you at Emilio, who's actually on at the Born to Risk event. And within 2 days, it was like we just became so cool and like brothers. but it was because of the meetings after the meetings after the meetings, which I had no idea what that was because I'm new to this, you know. And after the meeting, I left. I said, listen, I got to go to the car and go to sleep because I can't hang out anymore. This is just crazy. But once I understood what that actually meant and how you really get to know people as the evening goes on, and that is strategic, I then woke up because I remember we were at the cigar bar, and this is probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. And I was like, okay, y'all, I can't deal with this no more. I don't smoke cigars. And then Jose said, everything I do is strategic. And what do you mean by that? I said, these meetings after the meetings represent getting to know the people. And as the more later it gets, the walls come down even more, and you really get a chance to meet people. So I feel that Tampa is going to be an extension of what we have already done. But for those people that have not experienced that yet, it is going to be something that they will never forget, because you're really connecting on a real basis, as opposed to networking. Networking and connecting, to me, are two different things. Connecting is spiritual. Connecting is real. We had conversations that I don't even have with family members or good friends of mine, and I only met you like 2 days. So I think this experience in Tampa with you is going to be legendary. And I invite anybody that is looking to make some changes and want to be around some fun people and have a good time and learn. Meet us in Tampa. Meet us in Tampa.
Indeed.
You know, Lancelot, you're not talking about hype. You're talking about alignment. And that's something that's very, very important for all of us to consider. Yeah. One of the things, I had a conversation, and it was about solopreneurs. But when you think about it, a true solopreneur is not really that, because you have nobody else, no family members, no staff, no nothing. You still have, there's 3 of you. And people are like, wait a minute, it's only me. I was like, me, myself, and I. There's 3 of you. But you don't have to be a solopreneur to be by yourself. You can come and join a group of like-minded people. And then this community that we've been building, the New York City Mastermind Experience community, is growing. People are now connecting. There's business that's evolving. I personally have created businesses from it. And Lancelot, I was telling you before, you're not going to believe what I'm doing here because of this and that. Because when you get into the room with like-minded people, you have these conversations that lead to other things. And it's not necessarily me selling you something or you selling me something, but we go, hey, I like what you're doing here. I like what you're doing here. Why don't we merge and create something new, totally new? And that's what the New York City Mastermind Experience is all about. To collaborate, to bring ideas to the forefront, ideas that may never have sparked,
right,
unless you had those meeting after the meeting after the meeting. And then we narrow it down and we go, wait a minute, you're the same exact person I've been looking for. And now here you are. I'm not letting go now. Right? So it's not about exchanging phone numbers or emails. It's about exchanging heart, if you will.
There you go. I was just thinking that. Yes. Yes. Which is completely different. And when you exchange heart, when you exchange feeling, then when the connection becomes real, and then what you do next is just a natural progression, as opposed to pushing. Now, don't get me wrong. There's people out there that are still trying to sell you, and that irritates me sometimes, because they they constantly, they say one thing, but they're really trying to sell you their product or what they're doing. And I recognize that because I've been around the block a few times, and that irritates me because it's underneath the cloak of trying to connect with somebody, but the entire time you're trying to sell.
Mm.
But when you truly connect, you don't have to sell.
Ooh.
You don't have to sell. It's a natural progression. Yes, I want to work with you. That's in alignment with what I am trying to do. Let's get together. And that's what I think we're trying to do. And that's what makes it so special. And I think Tampa is just an extension of what we are doing globally. And it couldn't find a better person than my man, Paul, who, again, we connected last August. And still the bond is still there, and that's real. That's real.
Absolutely. I mean, you both have really hit it on the head. And, you know, I look at alignment as the new commodity, right? In the direction that we're going to see, you know, those leaders that are in the know, if you will, those that are paying attention, those that are, I'll say, waking up in some respect, are going to, or realizing that we need to kind of move in that direction. I mean, certainly I've been talking about alignment for maybe 2 years, but I think I hear more people talk about it now. And I think, yeah, but, you know, I look at alignment as a balance or coherence. And there's a coherence that exists when people are vibing at the same frequency, right? So we got the same vision, we got the same purpose, we got similar values, and those things align. And when those things align, and you can't tell there's alignment there unless you're actually truly connecting. So I love the conversation around, you know, this is not networking. I mean, and what happens with, you know, so you were talking about the meeting after meeting. So when we start having the meetings after the meeting, all the networkers drop off. And it's no slight to anybody, but that's just how it is, right? And so, you know, so there is a strategic reason why these things happen. And those individuals who are really trying to connect are the ones that stick around because they want to, you know, we are speakers and we're coaches and we do all these, and authors and entertainers, and we do a lot of things, and it takes a lot of energy, but we're just human. And humans crave that connection, right? And and we stay around like-minded individuals who are vibrating at the same energy level, same frequency level. And that's why we were drawn to one another. That's why I was drawn to Seafood from the moment I met him. What was that, May of 2024? I mean,
I think it was May or April, right?
Yeah.
23, actually. 23.
Yeah. And so, you know, so it's just that the energy, like you just vibe with the individual. You already know it. It's like, you know, hello, my brother, right? And, you know, and I remember, you know, initially I was like, everybody's a beautiful human being, but you can just tell that this individual, this human, there's a connection here that don't know where, you know, I don't know what it's fully going to look like and how that's going to organically unfold, but I know there's something there. And that energy, you just want to be around it and you want to be with it, and look at what we create when we do get in coherence and we do align. We create, you know, things that are magnificent, like this New York City experience. And I'm excited to bring it down to Tampa. I'm excited to see folks in Tampa get connected and feel that energy. And guess what? I'm still going to be there. And so it becomes a hub, if you will. And even though I'm going to do my things down here, I mean, but it's always going to be connected in some way to this experience. And, you know, I hope that it will continue to, I mean, that's my desire for it to continue to be, you know, an extension, because we're all trying to make the same impact, and provide these experiences for individuals so that they, you know, so they can experience leadership success, personal success, grow as individuals, and then take that growth and have an impact in their own world, in their spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you know, I just realized something. You guys ready?
Sock it to me.
Both of you, when I met you for the first time, you were both wearing pink suits.
That is right. That is right. Yeah.
You're both wearing pink suits. How crazy is that?
Wow. I know you had it in you, Paul. All right.
Oh,
see. Wait. You have no idea. Paul was so sharp. He had these cool glasses on, just like you do. And he had this suit. And I kept seeing him from afar. And I said, you know, Paul, I don't know if you remember.
I do. Oh, I remember this very well because I remember so many people stopped me. They were like, I don't know how you pull that off, a pink suit. Man, I can't pull off a pink shirt. How you pull off an entire pink suit? I
Oh,
had
you
the
had
pink.
yo.
I had the
I'm
pink
like, all right,
shirt. I had
bro.
the pink tie. I had the pink jacket. I had the pink pants, pink belt, pink shoes. And I was like, you know what?
Nice.
When you show up as yourself, an authentic self, you can pull off anything.
That's
And
right.
and part of that is working through those fears of what people think. I'm not there to
Mhm.
impress anybody. I'm there to be me and express myself at
Right.
the time. And at that time, I think it was also breast cancer awareness month, and I was like, you know what, so there were a lot of things going on, but I was like, you know what,
Right.
this is how I'm going to show up today, and here I am, and I'm here to connect, and yeah, it was an amazing day.
Yeah. Here's my good friend David, right? Good day from far away, Slovnovia,
Slovenia.
calling out, right? And it's been a while since he and I have talked, but man, him and his beautiful wife, what are incredible human beings. And we'd love for you to come from Slovenia, and join us in Ireland. I mean, it's going to happen. So I'll reach out anyways. But let me clarify something. When I saw Paul, I said, dude, you're a sharp looking guy. You look great. You make it work. I didn't say, how do you make it work? I just told you, you make it work, right? And then we took a selfie right away.
Mhm.
And that's the same thing I did with Lancelot, right? Because I feel like you guys were both celebrities in your own right, and I needed to take a selfie with you guys. But I didn't want to just take a selfie and just say, later, thanks for the selfie. I wanted to connect. And if you think about Lancelot, I've never sold you anything. You've never sold me anything. Same thing with Paul. I've never sold you anything. You've never sold me anything. We just have a connection. And what I really want to share with people is it's the true alignment, right? And it's about who belongs in these rooms that we're curating, and right, why proximity does matter, and what happens when leaders, creators, speakers, and entrepreneurs choose to show up intentionally.
Mhm.
And for us, we're going to bring so many different people, city by city, country by country, experience by experience, so that my goal, and I shared this with Lancelot, is I want to bring like-minded people. And Lancelot, if you recall, and I said to you, because you and I, my brother, we're going to change the world, but we're going to do it in a way that we bring other creators, other people who are going to make their mission to help others. And this is, I think, why we started New York City Mastermind Experience.
Mhm.
Do you recall that?
Absolutely. And it spoke to me because, first and foremost, I have known my purpose since I was 17 years old. I had, because of certain things that happened to me, you realize that God's got his hand on your shoulder. And I had a dream at 17 that I was to be a beacon of positive light and energy to people around the world. Now, some people can think that's crazy, or yeah, he's telling, but that's exactly what happened. And from that point on, I have always known what my purpose is without really understanding what purpose even meant. I just knew that this God had his hand on my shoulder and I had to move a certain way and be a certain way. And then it's pulled me, and they say, and as I study, I understand that purpose pulls you through the decades because you understand the most important thing, and that's the why.
Mm-hmm.
Why you're doing this. And the why was to be a beacon of positive light. So when I spoke to Sifu and he was talking about changing the world and we're going to do this together, I was like, this is the first time somebody has spoke to the inner part of me. Now, I don't even know this guy.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I took the chance because we met at the last possible moment. He ran up to me and took a selfie. Said, look, I need to meet you. Now as an artist and as an actor, people come up to you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But there was something about it that I said, I'm going to follow through with this. and we followed through. We went to lunch, but then he started speaking things that no one has ever spoke to me about, changing the world, being that light. That was what I identified with like years ago. So then I said, let me take this journey with this guy, because I'm from New York. I'm a Black man. I don't trust. And I still am very guarded. And I'm learning how to let that down. But I let the guards down because he spoke my language. And it was at a time when I was looking to make some changes. So when he started saying things like, yo, we're going to change the world and we're going to help people out, I said, I'm in. We're going to start this New York City. I'm in. Say no more, because you're speaking my language. And that's how we got started. So for those people that are looking to align, because I'm excited about 2026. I'm truly excited because the door is open to the vision that I had, the vision that Sifu had, the vision that you have, Paul. We all have the same vision, and that's to make and help the world be better. And the New York City Experience is the platform to be able to do that. And I'm excited, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
2026, here we come.
It's very interesting. I want to share with you the itinerary, right? And I think I did it earlier, but I'll do it again. And when we sat down, and I've gotten to know you more, Lancelot, and you've gotten to know me more. And even this past event that we had, you kind of shook my hand and like, dude, I'm getting to know you even more, right? Because my story is not one that I just blurt out, but there's times that we have to let each other know what our stories are. And we have similarities in our stories, right? So when we think about life is a gift and how we navigate that gift, right? So let me share with everybody what our agenda is. I'm going to actually put it here so everybody can see it. Let me just grab it. I'm going to put in a banner. Better yet, I'm going to put in a comment so we can share it this way, right? So there it is, right? Tampa, Florida, February 27th through March 1st. I don't know, there's no space there, but there should have been. Ireland, April, Chicago, May, New York City, July, Atlanta, September, and back to New York City, December 26th. I will have to fix that writing, and but it's all there. It looked like this, right? It's almost like stew, right? Sometimes you don't even know what's in stew, but it tastes so good. Just that I share that with you guys.
Wow. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited. Yeah. That's a year. Like I said before, it's a tour. And as an artist, hey, let's go, baby. It's all about the tour.
Yeah.
This is the year, so do it big. And that's a lineup that if anybody's listening, when those folks that are listening, you need to be at one of these, if not all of them, but at least one of them, right? And that's how you
are coming to every one of them. They're like, whenever you have a New York City experience, I'm there. And I'm going to tell you who that person is. Coach Theo Clay. He's like, anytime you're doing something, I am there. He's going to be in Atlanta. Actually, we're going to do one with him in Atlanta. He's going to be in Tampa. He's coming to Ireland. He's going to come to all of them because he understands what we're doing, right? So think about, and it does cost money when you go to events. There's no doubt. But if you don't invest in your future, look, a lot of people spend a lot of money on a television. They get a big screen television, or they get this and they get that, and they spend money on watching it. But what is that giving you back? Zero. When you come to an event, but you also have to know how to curate the event yourself. If I go to an event, I don't just sit there and talk to myself or just talk to the person I know. I try to meet as many people as I can, and we do connections, and then you have to follow up. So it's all these tiny little things that we need to be able to do. So it's important for all of us to figure things out. Just so you guys know, I am squeezing the ball because I'm trying to recover from my surgery. So, um, but even though I'm squeezing the ball, and I'm trying to recover because I had shoulder surgery. Every time you go to an event, you got to squeeze. You got to squeeze because you cannot get juice from an orange unless you squeeze it.
That's right.
You can't get juice from a lemon unless you squeeze it. And I'm not saying go squeeze somebody, but sometimes you squeeze their hand and make that connection. So I'm practicing my squeeze for Tampa.
Yes. Well, you know, it's all about the saying yes, and I think Lancelot, you kind of alluded to that earlier, and I think I made a post about this on Facebook yesterday. About you know, you got to choose the room, number one. But if you're not saying yes, you don't even have the opportunity to make the choice. I mean, you've already made the choice when you say no, right? And I think that's an absolute thing. But yes is strategic, right? The rooms we get in is strategic. The folks that we work with, it's strategic. The meetings after the meetings are strategic. The energy is strategic, and it's all done with purpose, right? Because when you have a big vision, when you have a big why, when you have a big purpose, you know, those things don't come to fruition, and we certainly don't realize that until we start saying yes. And you know, and I've shared a comment before. I was talking with someone about legacy, you know, a couple of years ago, and I said, you know, legacy is not something that we leave behind. Legacy is something that we create and live. And legacies don't get created if we're not doing, if we're not saying yes, if we're not taking the risk, if we're not connecting with the right individuals and being in the right spaces. So this is the opportunity to do that. So Lance, I love that alignment that occurred when you met Seafood, right? And similar to me, you know, that's one of the reasons why I felt like we connected. It's also another reason why I connected to Jose Escobar, is that alignment was there. You know, it's like, you know what? I'm not saying no to this one, right? You know, I'm very guarded too, and I guard my energy like you know, like it's the last commodity on the planet in the universe. Really.
That's right.
Right. And but you know, but then when that alignment happens, it's like, okay, yes, let's see where it goes. And I trust it, right? I trust this. And look where we've come so far.
Take a look who's going to be joining us, right? And he says good morning because he's Daniel Poland, but also he's known as Danny Z. And he is going to be, I got to tell you, he's our keynote speaker for Tampa. And you can see, Paul, you personally know what this man could do. He is just an incredible human being. And when he shows up into a room, I got to tell you, things change. Things change. So I love the energy that he brings. And this was going to be just even more dramatic, more crazy, more fun. And the connections will go deep and deeper and deeper as long as the longer you stay, the more you get, right? Yeah. For sure.
You know, and I want to expound on that because I got a chance. I was in North Carolina last week, so I wasn't on the show, but I listened and I listened to Danny. And as a person who has accomplished what he has accomplished as an artist, there was a perspective that he had that I thought was very refreshing and made me rethink how I move. And it was how generous he is as a person who has accomplished a lot as an artist. But when he gets into a room, he is like, okay, let me help you do this. Let me help you do that. Let me embrace everybody. That's a different way of moving in a room. It's one thing because I work tirelessly on how to connect with people. Every day I say certain things, but the way he was speaking was something that I never really fathomed. So it gave me another perspective on how do I come to the room. I come to the room not only with love, but I come to the room. Let me help you. Let me help you set up. Let me help you. If you need somebody to, I don't know, make the table, I'll make the table for you. Whatever I could do to make this experience better for everybody, because the better they experience it, the better they're experiencing me. And that's a different perspective. So big shout out to Danny Z, because I listened to that entire episode last week, and I learned a lot from him. Learned a lot.
I don't know if anybody listening to us today understands that we're not just having a conversation. We're teaching concepts, ideas, philosophy as we move through the New York City experience, because every time we connect with a different person, they bring a different value that we may have not thought of, right? And Danny Z exemplifies what it is to be a leader, what it means to be a person who is a giver, right?
Yes.
As you guys know, I'm a giver, and a lot of times I've been told, why do you give? Why do you give so much? They're not going to give you anything back. I'm like, I don't need anything. They're like, but you give. And I'm like, I'm okay. And the reason that I think that we do that, and Lancelot, when we did the event, you were like, what can I do? What can I be? What can I? And that's what we do. This is how we show up to a place. It's not about me. Let's look at me, and it's about us. It's how can we all collaborate to become better. That's why we have a mastermind, because I can't have a mastermind with myself. I need you guys. I need others to have an actual mastermind. So that's why we don't just call it New York City. We started with New York City Experience because it was an experience, right? But then we realized that, wait a minute, we really have something bigger here. It's the New York City Mastermind Experience, because it's collaborations, it's ideas, it's working together. It's even having our booklet that we write in, and we share ideas. We even write in each other's books, right? Just to get that concept going. So yeah, there you go.
That's right. Every day I use this bad boy.
And here's Daniel again. How can I serve? Because I got to tell you, when Daniel or Danny Z, he and I had a conversation. He's like, what can I do? How much can I? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're doing so much already. And I got to tell you, if you really want to understand the level of commitment a person has, I don't think anyone is more committed than Danny Z. When this guy shows up to a place, he delivers, and he overly delivers. And I've been at events where I am like, he's doing that again. Oh my gosh. And he's, how can I help? How can I help? How can I be there? How can I serve? And I think that's a servant leader right there. And I think everybody that I'm looking at right now, both of you guys are both servant leaders as well. That's why I'm so happy we're all aligned and connected. I think that's an important aspect that some people don't realize, what room you're walking into, because we've curated a room that's unlike any other. I'm gonna give me credit. I'm gonna give Lancelot credit. I'm gonna give Jose credit. Paul's got credit, because we are creating something not only slightly but uniquely different.
Yes, I completely agree. And it's one thing to curate a room, but it's another thing to curate a room with a specific kind of energy. And all of us, I feel like, bring an incredible energy into the room. And it's this vibration that's going to happen of servant leaders who are unselfish. And that's a completely different kind of room, to be around great leaders who are unselfish. Now, you got all these people being unselfish. I mean, imagine the kind of vibrations you're creating. Everybody giving into each other, everybody trying to help one another out. That to me is exciting. And 2026, I'm telling you, I have not been, and I'm an exciting person, and I got a movie coming out in this year.
Congrats, by the way.
And
The
I'm
veteran.
excited about that, but I'm equally excited about what we are doing and the vibrational energy that we are bringing to Tampa and to Ireland. I mean, it's just, and when you think about that, what Danny Z said made me think. So now I'm ready to give even more with givers who are already giving. So imagine what that room is going to be like.
Oof,
Don't
yeah.
miss it. I'm telling you. Get there.
Yeah.
You have to walk or hitchhike. Get going. Get there.
Safely. Honestly, I don't know if you remember, but I spilled a whole. Thank God we didn't put coffee in it. The whole big container. It should have held 45 cups of coffee. We didn't put the coffee in. We just had the water, and I spilled the whole thing. And I didn't freak out. I just said, "Oh well, get me some towels." And
that on the floor I had just mopped.
Yeah.
I didn't know what happened.
Everybody stepped in. Everybody stepped in to help. They didn't just watch me and go, "Oh, you spilled it. You clean it up." No, everybody was. Let's make this better. We got towels. We got mops. Everybody stepped in, and that's the kind of people that align with us. And by the way, if you want to be a speaker with us, I have good news and bad news. What do you want to hear first?
Bad news.
Bad news.
A couple slots available.
All right. I'm gonna tell you, and then we're gonna talk about Lancelot's movie. So here's the bad news. If you're a speaker that just wants to fly in and fly out, this is not the room for you. That's the bad news for them. Lancelot says, "Get out of here." But the good news is that for everybody who's in the audience, we're not having those speakers come in. The too good for us speakers, right? Because if you can't sit with us and talk with us and collaborate with us, we don't want you. And so we're only bringing speakers like Paul, right? Paul is not just a speaker. He's also a sponsor. He's sponsoring us. Guys, this is a big deal, right? It costs money to sponsor. And Paul's like, "I'm in," right? Danny Z is our keynote speaker. I'm going to tell you what he said. "I'm going to be there before the event starts.
Yes,
I'm going to be the last one to leave."
I heard
that's huge.
Yeah.
As a keynote speaker, a lot of keynote speakers come and go.
That changed.
So like, I'm here for 20, 30 minutes and then I'm out. And then it's like a ghost came by. We don't want ghosts. We want real people that show up. So now let's talk about your movie, man. The Veterans coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
I didn't do that to promote it.
No, but hey, listen, we're here to support you, right? So I'm there in every way I can. Throwing petals at your feet as you walk the red carpet, whatever it takes.
The movie is just an incredible. It's been all over the news. The media has been covering it, and it's going to be pretty big. And I have the second lead in it, and big shout out to all of Paul's military, and it's about the veterans, and it's bringing light on how the veterans come home and they're not provided with the proper resources that they need in order to integrate back into society. Now, I have a cousin who is a paralyzed vet, and they've taken care of him, but he's fallen through the cracks and he's had to fight for a lot of things that he has. You shouldn't have to fight. As a veteran, as a person who has served your country, you should have all the things you need in order to integrate back into in our society properly. You have a lot of people that get addicted to the opioids. Why? Because they were injured overseas and they're given these opioids and then they get addicted to them and then they look at them like something's wrong, knowing that these things are addictive. So we really focused on that. There's a homeless, the lead character is a veteran Marine, he winds up getting addicted to opioid, winds up being homeless. And my character is a multi-billionaire who takes him in, cleans him up. And it's this beautiful story about humanitarianism, love, compassion for your fellow man. And the bottom line is, you find out that one of the reasons why I do this is because I had a brother who died in the war. So I had this yearning for family, and this guy represented family. So it's this beautiful story. You know, as
not you personally, just want to clarify, you didn't have a brother that died in the war. The
character, right? The character, yes. So it's a great story, and you know, as a person that I still take class, you're getting the best version of me when I did that role. So I think I did a great job, and it's getting a lot of traction, and I hope everybody goes out to see it. You know, and yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I want to talk about Paul for a second, because Paul doesn't really tell everybody. He was badly injured. You were in the Navy, right, Paul?
In Navy, yep.
And it kind of ended his naval career, if you will. Where you want to give us a quick rundown?
Yeah, I'll give a quick rundown, because I don't share it very often, and you know that's been part of the story, and part of the things about about me as the individual that I hadn't, that I kept very guarded, and only the folks that were closest to me kind of knew those details. But yeah, I went to the United States Merchant Marine Academy. So all those Kings Corners out there who may be listening, and certainly on my profile, so I'm streaming it on mine. So shout out to you all that went to school together. But we were in the U.S. Navy Reserve, Merchant Marine Reserve. And so we sailed on commercial vessels and military vessels for our sea duties. And so right during Operation Desert Shield, so the August to, I guess, December, January timeframe, so August 1990 to December of 1990 was Desert Shield. There were 35 of us, 38 of us at sea. And the ship that I was on was one of the ships that got commandeered and converted to a naval vessel. And I get injured on the ship during Desert Shield. And I suffered a crush injury to my left forearm, but broke my arm in 9 places. And 13 operations later, my arm was able to be saved. I mean, the prognosis was initially I was going to lose my arm. But then that set off an entire, I'll say, domino effect of really, physical struggle, mental anguish, emotional struggle.
Yeah.
Right. And folks have been, and folks who've been injured, obviously there's the PTSD that's associated with that. And of course, we don't like to talk about that out loud, because then it gives us a certain stigma. But it was also one of the reasons why many years later, after I had come out of the 17-year funk that I had, it took me 17 years to really come out of that experience and to kind of start bouncing back, because even though I'd saved my arm, I mean, it shifted my career. I was honorably discharged from the Navy for reasons of medical. The career that had already lined up was now out. That future was gone. There were a lot of things that changed in my life. And so it always been a struggle. So I really appreciate the story that you're telling me, because I think there are a lot of veterans who can relate to the experience, even though it's not the exact same experience. We all can relate to what we go through emotionally, physically, mentally, and spiritually, for that matter. When we have that experience and things don't go as we expected, or certainly as they should. I mean, I feel like every veteran, anybody who has served this country should not have to fight for any of it.
Anything.
Should have to fight for any of it. And many of us do have to fight for every inch, just every service that we get. Some are lucky, right? And the ones who are lucky enough to get everything handed to them, as they should, that's one thing, right? But there are many of us who it's a constant battle. We go to the VA, we go to the disabled veterans organizations, and we go to, and there's organizations out there now that want to charge people $5,000 to help them get this and help them get that. you shouldn't be charging us anything. We're the ones who made the decision to put our lives on the line. Whether that was voluntarily, when we were at times of peace, or whether that was during time, like in Vietnam, where people were drafted. When I went in, it was a voluntary choice, and it was peace. Then the war broke out. But the folks go in now, and I don't think a lot of people even can fathom like the decisions that they're making. Is just that we do it and we think it's the honorable thing, but there's an impact. And so, but yeah, so thank you for making the movie and telling the story. For sure. Like I said, I struggled for 17 years, and certainly there were things I learned along the way, and I wish I had known all the tools that I've gained over the years could have helped me significantly navigate that experience much more quickly than not. And so, so that's part of the story. But I don't wear that as a badge. And part of the reason why I don't tell the story is I want people to feel sorry for me. I mean, it's more about here's the experience, right? And just kind of understand that when we've done those things, that there's always something else going on the inside that we haven't shared and that we haven't told. And so thank you for giving me the opportunity to share it here.
Wow.
Also, if anybody ever wants to hear the full story, we did share it on one of my shows, Coaching Call, that Paul was on with me. And Paul, thank you for sharing it. Thank you for your service. I love you. And this is one of the things I say. It's very interesting that now I have so many brothers that my parents didn't even have. And you guys are both my brothers, and you bring certain light to every room we go into. So we're still here talking about why somebody should join us in all of the rooms that we do, but specifically in Tampa, because you're going to be able to meet Paul. And like I said, he doesn't freely speak about this. I got how to pull it from him because like he said, he doesn't want anybody having pity on him. If you see Paul, he's vibrant, he's strong, he doesn't show any weakness whatsoever. What he went through was horrendous.
Stronger.
But it made him, absolutely, Lancelot, it made him stronger. It's the man that you see before you, somebody who is alert, looking forward towards the future, and willing to give and to help. Because guess what? In service, he served our country. So that's huge. So thank you.
I gotta say, I just got goosebumps, all kind of things going on right now inside of me. The universe has an incredible way of shifting when it needs to be shifted. I just want to say, first and foremost, thank you for your service, Paul. But I think being around so many military people was the universe shifting in such a way to do that, because it's only been a year. Guys like Emilio, guys like T.O. Clay, guys like yourself, Youssef, all these different former military. And then I'm doing a movie about military, a lead role to speak to the injustice that is done to our veterans on a daily basis. And it just warms it just gives me goosebumps to know that this movie that I'm in is sort of like saying thank you to people like you, Paul, and T.O. and Emilio. That is just, I don't even want to get too emotional, but it's just, I just appreciate it. And it's a part of that vibration. It's a part of what's going to be in the room in Tampa. It's a part of who the New York City Mastermind Experience is all about. You want to be a part of it, get there, man, because it's real. It's real. That story you just told, that's real. And it just made you the person that you are today. And I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, brother. I love you, brothers. I love you, brothers. And again, I said thank you for telling the story. I think that folks will talk about mastermind, and that there's a tapping into collective intelligence, right? And I'm going to use a line that I heard Danny Z say, right? And he talks about leverage, but not leverage in the sense of like taking, leverage in the sense of those who see who's in the room, right? Tap in, and if they're sharing knowledge, tap into that. Right. That's the power of leverage. And so when you bring all these great minds together, all this energy together, all the things are aligning, everything is coherent. The stage is right to learn as much as possible. So leverage that. And the experiences only help us grow. And so this is truly an experience. I'm looking at the lineup of folks that have said yes, and those folks that will say yes, right? Because when you see the energies and women, and nobody has to be a big time celebrity, right? You're gonna feel this energetically, right? You can feel this energetically. The folks that are on the stage are not the folks that, like you said, are the type of folks that fly in for 30 minutes, do the talk, want to get paid $20,000, $50,000 and leave and say, hey, I did a great job here. These folks are saying, hey, you know what? I want to be part of this experience, and whatever I have to offer here, I want to make sure that it's useful for the people that are there to receive it, right? Because everybody has said yes to this event, and they're there for one reason and one reason alone, because we want to create a better world. We want to create a better space and experience for not only just us, but the people that are around us. Mm-hmm. That's legacy. That's legacy in life, in real life, right there, right? Is what we can create now that we can experience now as well. And so you want to be in this room because I got a funny feeling that the people that are going to be here are the people that are going to change the world. And this year is the year, right? This is the door has opened.
Oh yeah.
And if you haven't seen it yet, I'm telling you right now, the door is open.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you a little bit about T.O. Clay. T.O. Clay is definitely a brother to all of us. And the man is just, Sergeant Major in the Marines. And that's the highest level you can possibly go as an enlisted person. But the stories that he served 23 years. And the stories he has, the resilience that this man has, and the power that he brings into any room. I got to tell you, just the speakers that we have. He's going to be a speaker as well. Paul, you're going to be a speaker. We have other speakers who are coming in. Jenny Berber is going to be a speaker with us. We have Jacqueline Strominger, who's going to be a speaker with us. And she was powerful when she just spoke at our New York City Experience here in Farmingdale, New York. And we have others who are already, I have Devo Tyndall, who's going to be also one of our speakers. And I got to tell you, every single person is bringing heat, because this is not just any experience. This is ignite. We're igniting. That's the first start. We're igniting that fuse for that rocket to take off, because that rocket's going to take us all the way to Ireland. It's going to take us to Atlanta, to Chicago, back to New York. And we're igniting something, but we want to ignite something in you when you come to any of our events. Tampa is going to be hot. And I'm not talking about temperature like, oh, I can't take the heat. No, it's going to be hot internally, because you're going to feel it in your heart. You're going to meet people there that you wouldn't meet otherwise, that you will go to other rooms and you're like, oh, it kind of feels cold in here. Not with us. It's going to be hot, because the love will be in the room. The brotherhood will be in the room. The sisterhood will be in the room. And even the motherhood and fatherhood is going to be in the room. So it's a family unity, if you will. The New York City Mastermind is like nothing you've ever experienced. If you haven't come to one, do it. Do it. Look across the screen at cforrafael.com/NYC, or the other way you can join us is through texting. And that's my actual phone number. text me. We'll have a conversation. I'll get you in there. I'll give you my phone number, 516-242-8732. And somebody said, aren't you afraid you're going to get all these people calling you? No. The wrong people call, I have a hang-up button. It's called call, right? I get telemarketers calling me all the time. And so sometimes it's very funny when they call me and I'm like, why are you calling me? Oh, I want to sell you this. I'm like, oh, really? First, you got to buy my product. And all of a sudden, they're like, click that. Exactly. So if you're not willing to invest in me, why would I want to invest in you?
Right.
So we're going to invest in you when you come to us. And we feed you well, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We feed you well.
That's good. That's right. That's right. I just want to say big shout out to LaSalle Productions. That's the writer and producer of the movie The Veteran. I didn't want to not mention him.
Mm-hmm.
Looking forward to seeing you, Angeline.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Listen, God bless you all. I have to run to a physical therapy appointment so I can be better. I can keep shaking my hand and you guys all going and everything. God bless everybody. And we will see you next week, everybody. Have yourself an exceptional
Happy New Year, guys. Happy New
Happy
Year.
New Year. We'll see you next year.
I'll see you in 2026.
See you in 2026, of course.
All right. Take care, everybody.
Later.
Last home say it's cold bar. Turn it up, let's go. Turn it up, let's go. Let's go. No time to wait. Bass too loud and the vibe too great. Let's go. Full on fire. Every move hit like a live wire. Let's go. Step we go. No fear here, just hard to go. Let's go. Lights on blast. We don't hold back. We move fast. Hit the flow, we don't miss. Whole room lit like a first kiss. No cap, no stress, no chill.